I'm going to be fully honest, okay? When Plants vs. Zombies Replanted randomly popped up in a Nintendo Direct in July of 2025, yeah, I was kinda excited for it. This was the perfect opportunity to make the most content-rich version of PvZ, a game that has had many releases over the years, all of which are a little different. I mean, I literally covered all of them in this video. I was really hoping they would combine everything from all of those versions together. All the minigames, bonus content, extra modes, throw in the DS sprites as toggleable skins, include every achievement, all of the official PvZ1 content ever made, all featured in glorious HD. That would have been awesome. And for the reveal, it seems like they actually put in some effort. They had this nice 3D CGI in the trailer, the gameplay they showed looked mostly nice, and the main artwork was super faithful to the source material. Ever since BFN, PvZ has been in the shitter to say lightly, but Replanted had the perfect opportunity to steer the franchise back on track. But the more information that got revealed, the more that dream started to become a fantasy. There is no real easy way to go around this, but in my humble opinion, this game is kinda pathetic. I don't know how else to say it. On a surface level, it's still fun. It's PvZ, and even the crappiest version of PvZ is still enjoyable. I mean, I can testify because I literally played all of them. But everything else that surrounds this title, it's just sad, man. This is a Hello Neighbor 2 situation where the game itself is fine, but the marketing and behind-the-scenes shenanigans makes it genuinely embarrassing to be a fan of the franchise. This has to be the worst pre-order bonus I've ever seen, man. Retro pea shooter? What do you mean retro? This game came out in 2009 and never had pixel sprites to begin with. Oh wait, the DS version did, so why not just use that sprite, which looks way better anyway? And that's not mentioning, why only the stupid pea shooter? Why not every plant? This is so bafflingly stupid to me, man, and it makes my brain, it makes it melt into a puddle. You guys are so incompetent, man. Jesus Christ. The marketing of Replanted in general was also just cringe. There is such a how do you do fellow kids vibe attached to it, ready to meme like it's 2009. This video right here, the deep dive trailer. I mean, I'm just gonna play you some clips and you'll see what I mean.
What's up, Hedgeheads? You are live with the Turf Titan himself, No Cap Shroom! Oh yeah, there it is! Welcome to 2025, looking great!
You know what doesn't need the sun? Potatoes. They can still grow in the dark, just growing on vibes.
Chat, we cooked or just french fried?
I'd advise you to be like a potato and keep your eyes peeled. Let's do mini games. They're like the tater tots of games.
And that's the stream, Hedgeheads.
Like, what are we doing? Also, this video, the developer diary, just shows such a lack of understanding and care about the game they are remastering. You've probably seen the clip floating around on the internet. That plays around 3:20 in the video. The current brand director of the series tells us one of his personal favorite details. And everything he's saying is factually incorrect. Like he's just reading some ChatGPT script. How hard is it to name a single cute detail about PvZ? Here, I have one for you. If you scroll down the achievement list, you can see the stupid worm from Bookworm Adventures. It's not that difficult, man. You don't need chat P-poo-P for this. Probably the biggest selling point of Replanted, though, is that the game is now in widescreen and full high definition, no longer stuck in a resolution of 600 by 800. But the way they achieve this is questionable, to say the least. First of all, the engine. The original PvZ used an in-house engine made by PopCap themselves called PopCap Games Framework, which for sure has its drawbacks and shortcomings, but it worked. Replanted, on the other hand, uses Unity. Now, there is really nothing wrong with using Unity, but what the developers of Replanted did is they took the code from the Windows Phone version specifically and ported that over into Unity. This made it so that a lot of small details just broke, and the entire experience launch just feels a lot less refined now, like this stupid loading screen that pops up on your screen every single time you click on something. And then second, the art itself. The original artist of PvZ, Rich Werner, wasn't even contacted for Replanted, even when he stated multiple times that he would love to work on the franchise again. The original PvZ wasn't made by a big team, and most of the art was made by just Werner, and the fact that they didn't even bother sending him a small message is so disrespectful. Hello, this is his work you're tampering with. And because the original art was drawn really small to compensate for that 600 by 800 resolution, they had no other choice but to remake the sprites. But the end result in Replanted is so inconsistent to say the least, and people found out while data mining that there were quite a few AI upscaled images present in the file. So fans think that the devs just AI upscaled the original art and then traced it. That's the game theory at least. PopCap did state that they didn't use generative AI in the game, but we are talking about AI upscaling. And I really wouldn't be surprised if it turns out to be true, since their track record has been abysmal lately. Plus, in that developer diary video that I mentioned, they did use AI to animate this brown coat. And yes, it looks like hot garbage.
Chat, we cooked or just french fried?
But that's the biggest selling point of Replanted. It's now shiny and in HD, but the original game still looks better in my opinion. And you also know while playing it that actual love has been poured into it. You don't really get that feeling while playing Replanted. Again, the game itself is fun, it's PvZ, but there's always a strange aftertaste lingering in your mouth, souring the experience. But what about new content/features? Well, first of all the exclusive minigames from all the other versions are not here. Yeah, they couldn't bother adding those, that's just too much work. But they did add the cut minigames from the Limbo page. But there is a reason why these were cut though, because, well, they simply suck. I'll take Air Raid over Can You Dig It any day of the week. There are, however, two brand new game modes, one of which is called Cloudy Day, which is probably the most interesting one. This game mode puts your sunflowers to sleep at certain intervals, making them not produce sun. But all plants are also cheaper during this time, so you have to strategize a little differently, which is actually kind of fun. And the other game mode is called RIP mode, which is basically hardcore. If you die, you lose all your progress. This one is kinda whatever, but I did mess it up 4 times though, but that's because I'm stupid. Besides these two game modes though, the co-op and versus modes from the console edition do make a return, which is cool, but no online play, which is rather lame. There's also a concept art gallery with awesome fake concept art, #ConeItUp. What are we doing, guys? The speed up button from PvZ2 has been added, but this one goes up to 2.5 times speed. There is a stun magnet that you can activate by simply pressing the spacebar, hotkeys for planting plants, new skins that are kinda bad in my opinion, accessibility features which are always a welcome addition, and if you scroll down all the way in the achievement list, you can play a level from the Chinese version of PvZ. It's just one level though, but you know, it's a cute little Easter egg. But my personal favorite new feature has to be the super cool and awesome user agreement that gets rubbed in your face if you boot up the game for the first time. If there is one thing the original PvZ needed, it was a user agreement that probably states somewhere that EA owns your soul or something, #ConeItUp. But that's it. Like, I'm not asking for a lot, right? All I wanted was the most content-rich version of PvZ, faithfully remade in HD, and I guess they delivered that? But all of it is so shoddy, and besides, quite a few things that I listed, like the keybinds, weren't present when the game first launched. They had to fix it later on with patches. How about this, PopCap and EA? Release your game when it's finished. It's not an otherworldly concept. They didn't even have dynamic music when the game launched. The music! That's like one of the most iconic and important parts of PvZ. How do you fumble that? And the fact they didn't even bother adding the exclusive content from the other versions is such a shame, man. Like, the DS price as toggleable skins would have been awesome, but instead, they make a retro pea shooter skin that looks like crap. If you have a PC, there is no real reason to play this game. Game of the Year edition is just superior in almost every aspect. Plus, it's only 1/4 of the price. Yes, Replanted is 20 bucks. If you're on the Switch, I guess this suffices, but all I think of when I look at Replanted is just missed opportunities and incompetence. It's sad. I wouldn't say Replanted is broken or unplayable, but there are a lot of annoying little oversights, graphical errors, and small visual glitches that do pile up. This game just makes me sad, man. This is the big PvZ comeback, and it's developed by the people that made Big Time Gangsta. Sure, man, whatever, who even cares?
Chat, we cooked or just french fried?
And the final thing I was really let down by are, of course, the achievements. Throughout the many versions of PvZ, there have been many exclusive achievements, and Game of the Year edition is definitely lacking a bit in this department. I was really hoping they would grab every achievement from every version and jam it into Replanted. Some of them would of course have to be cut since they're duplicates, but besides those, everything else would be fair game in my eyes. But you guessed it, they didn't do that. In Replanted, there are 5 brand new achievements, 10 ported over from the phone version, and 1 from the console. So they basically, they cherry-picked them. Why? I know that soil your plants is stupid and pointless, but why not just add it? It's part of PvZ history. Why didn't they include 20 Below Zero, Monster Mash, Chill Out, Photosensitive, Nom Nom Nom, Lucky Spin? Like, these two are probably the most infamous PvZ 1 achievements out there, and they did add Enlightened, but not Lucky Spin. Why? This achievement would be so much easier to get with the speed up button. Again, just add it. It's part of PvZ history. And when it comes to fully completing Replanted, so I think going over this game is kinda pointless, since it's basically the same as Game of the Year edition, but with some small challenges attached to it, mostly the included phone achievements and the 1 console one. But the hardest 3, and only 3 worth talking about in my opinion, are the 2 RIP mode achievements. For these you need to 1 beat the mode, and 2 beat the mode without losing a lawnmower. It's pretty simple if I'm honest. And then finally, of course, Enlightened. For this achievement, you need to collect every single Zen Garden plant. To get a Zen Garden plant, you basically need to kill a buttload of zombies, and each zombie has a very, very low chance to drop a little present with a random Zen Garden plant inside. Now, there is some good news and bad news. The good news is that depending on what lawn you are playing on, you can only get Zen Garden plants from that lawn you unlock the original plants on in the adventure mode. So for example, pea shooter and sunflower Zen Garden plants need to be found while playing on the day lawn. Same goes for every other plant. Blover on the fog stage, tall nut on pool, doom shroom on night. You get the gist of it. The bad news though, you can get duplicates. And you need to collect a total of 39 of these Zen Garden plants. Yay! If you're going balls to the wall lock-in mode, trying to get these little presents in the most optimal way possible, you can get a sprout every, let's say 10 minutes or so. So, yeah, this achievement is just pure hell to get. Casually sitting next to treasure chest from Garden Warfare 1. Basically, this is just a waste of time to get. And I know what you might be thinking, I'll just go play Survival Endless, but for some reason, all of these levels drop every type of Zen Garden plants. Plus, the drops are even more rare here compared to playing any other mode. I'm sure this will get patched in the future, like so many other issues with this game, but it should have been a thing day one. And that's not to mention that on the mobile version of PvZ1, you were able to buy mystery sprouts in the shop that will give you a random Zen garden plant you didn't have yet for 50k coins. If this system wasn't replanted, Enlightened would probably still be the last achievement you'll unlock, but it wouldn't be nearly as tedious and time wasting as it is now. Look how much money I have after obtaining Enlightened, and the only thing I can buy with 1,000,000 doubloons are rakes and tree food, if for some unknown reason I ever want to increase this virtual number.
Chat, we could.
So to wrap it up, I've played this remaster for about 50 hours, really trying to dig my teeth into it. And I'm very honest when I say that this game is disappointing to say the least. Again though, even the crappiest version of PvZ is still fun to play, but that's because the original creators made a timeless classic. Replanted isn't fun because the game is now in widescreen or because they added a single level from the Chinese version. It's fun because the original PvZ is fun. All that Replanted really did is slobber a layer of grease on top of it. I've also played PvZ1 so many times at this point that for Replanted, I ended up purposefully making the worst setups imaginable and taking a bunch of stupid screenshots because it's funny. So if there is one thing you should take away from this game, is that you should go to my Steam profile and leave a like on your favorite Foco Replanted screenshot. I'm personally a big fan of this one. I was simply cooking, nothing more to say. It's better than the phone version, it's better than the Java version, that's the real achievement here. But the others? Yeah, I honestly prefer the DS and even Flash version over this. There are just so many things that bug me to hell and back. Also, why does this game not have the leaderboard feature from the phone or console version? Like, why? Why exclude this?